Welcome back to Swine TV. We've got a special episode today with the summer season approaching. We want to look what producers need to be looking at service-wise to open their barns up for the summer. And we've got Banthsa from PigTek. Welcome, Banthsa.
Hello, good morning.
So I know you're a service tip expert, but before we get to that, can you tell me about your background and how you ended up with PigTek?
Sure. Well, it was I ended up with PigTek kind of on a fluke, I guess. I was raised in Ottumwa, Iowa. My parents, they worked at Cargill Meat Solutions, pork processing plant down there, both retired from there. And that's kind of the extent that I had in the swine industry at first. But being that I was from there, I went to Indian Hills Community College, and then after that, got a bachelor's at Buena Vista University. Yeah, and I was working for Mitsubishi Laser for a number of years, and I was reached out by a recruiter for Shoretime Brock, and they had a position open for PigTek, which I jumped on, and 5 years later, here I am. It's kind of how I landed in the position.
So what was it like being sent to Vietnam, Brazil, and South America?
Really cool. Different experiences all in themselves. Yeah, getting to meet people and share ideas and get new ideas from people all across the globe is a great experience. People are passionate about this industry all over the world, and that's kind of a common theme in this industry.
What do you like most about PigTek?
I think what I like most is our entire team. The way that everybody kind of works together. Everybody wears many hats in order to get whatever needs to be done accomplished. We work together really well. That's what I think I like the most is the team.
So when we talk about service tip, what do you think the top 5 things are service-wise producers need to check this spring and summer?
I would say obviously start off with taking off the covers to the fans and getting that ready. But in doing so, checking the shutters and the louvers, things like that. And then also taking a look at if there's belts, pulleys, things like that. I would start off with just those general things. And then you would want to unsecure the curtain if it is secured. Make sure that it's operational in both directions, since it's probably hasn't been ran in several months, just to make sure that it operates all the way up and all the way down smoothly. And then obviously you want to check your power drops if those are being used. And then switch everything back to auto as if transitioning from the winter to the summer. Next would be your bandwidths. I know those are tightened up with a lot of controllers and a lot of people over the winter time to accommodate for those cold weathers. So yeah, you would want to make sure that those are to the summer likings and whatnot. Next would be number 4 would be to open up the soffits, make sure that the screens aren't damaged or needing replaced or anything like that. Make sure that they're clear of any debris or what might be in the way. That way you have sufficient airflow through those. And then 5th thing would be check the cool cells. Make sure you get the water back in them. Filters, if they need to be replaced, replace them. The pads themselves, make sure they're clean and free of debris. And if they need cleaned, clean those too. I think that's a good start.
Yeah, we did a Cool Cells podcast a few weeks ago, which was well received and helpful.
Yeah, good.
Now, what about some of the more interesting jobs you've been called out on?
There's quite a few. We see odd things all the time, but for me personally, the things that I get to see that are different for me, it's like the first time I went to a colony, a Hutterite colony, it was different for me. And I think for the people on the colony, it was very different for them too, since I have dreads down to my butt and I'm covered in tattoos. They're not used to seeing that type of person, I guess. So that was pretty interesting, seeing how they live, and they're probably thinking, how the heck does this guy live, So that was pretty cool. I was sent to to RICA, which is Rwanda Conservation of Agriculture. And we set up a pig barn and stuff there, which that was really, really cool. That was a very, very cool experience. Learned a lot. It definitely was a different pace of life for sure. Yeah, that one was really interesting. There's been a lot of different things like that,
Do you
especially
like
travel.
serve an area, a local area, or
Nope. I'm global. I'm one
okay?
man. Right now, it's I mean, we all kind of work together, but I do all the tech services for the globe.
So I know with biosecurity and animal health, we talk about prevention. So I think it's probably the same thing in the barn. Is there some key things producers should do to prevent before they have a problem?
Um, as far as biosecurity, I guess, man, just following the protocols is the number one thing. I would think a lot of guys they tend to skip some of these things sometimes. Um, yeah, I just protocol.
So it's the same even with equipment. And
Yep,
so just
yep.
keep servicing and
Yeah, keep servicing. I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously you don't want things to break down. So the things to prevent that is, I mean, what I would do is get yourself a checklist, things that you want to check daily, weekly, monthly, or in between turns of pigs. It's a good time to kind of actually take a look at things, whether it be feed lines, water lines, motors, pulleys and belts, like we discussed earlier, and actually taking a look at those things. The next thing is just to use quality parts. It's going to get you a long ways as opposed to using the cheap alternatives.
sometimes it's the simple things, right? Use good
Yep,
parts, have a checklist so you have everything right in front of you and
that's
organized.
right. Yep, exactly.
Now, do you have an input on new barn building and expansion compared to renovations? I've heard there's still a lot of expansion going on, and then I hear from other people that there's more renovations. So what's the difference? What are you seeing?
Um, right now I'm seeing kind of the same. There's a lot of remodels and things going on. There's not too many new builds. Um, which I mean, it can go either way. You can do as long as the structure is good and sound and your permits and your zonings and everything are still good and valid. And the shell of a building is still good. I mean, there's still a lot of potential, and it takes the headaches out of kind of going through all the motions for a new build.
So what about ideas moving forward? Do you have any ideas for producers to maximize the efficiency of their operation?
I think to maximize efficiency, you kind of want to go, with where technology is right now, as far as variable speed fans, smart controllers, and things like that. They're going to get you a lot further for a cheaper cost. Yeah, that's they can be more expensive up front, but the payoff on them is there. And just having the peace of mind, like a smart controller, having basically the controller in your pocket all the time on your phone is very handy. And that's seeing things go that way. I've seen it time and time again. It comes in handy for sure.
So Banthsa from PigTek, thanks for joining us about opening up the barns for producers this spring and summer.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.